Good morning, everyone. Hope you can hear and see us clearly. Make sure you let me know. Yeah, huh?
Can they hear me?
I don't think they can hear you. I'm going to have to put the mic really close to you.
Well, I'm going to work on it.
Yeah, I don't think they can hear you very well. Let me know if you're seeing us clearly. We had to get a whole new computer. I had to set it up, and there are some of my settings that are gone, but I'll tell you about that later. Right now, we're just gonna.
It's been crazy with that.
It's been crazy. This has been a crazy week, actually. Been a crazy week, but we're here. live and in color. Let me know if you're hearing us, seeing us clearly, because we got a whole new setup here, and I want to make sure it's working fine. Okay. Let's see who's here. In the meantime, looking for your comments. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sinette. Thank you.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Seeing and hearing. That's old John Greason. I tell you,
Mhm.
boy, you rough this morning.
I almost got scammed this week by some scammers. Well, I had to start way back. Just before the surgery, pastor's surgery, my regular laptop started that I usually do my streaming with, started acting strange. And my sister saw it too. She said, "Man, what's doing crazy stuff." So anyway, it started acting up. And so I did what they call a system restore, to try to push it back to a date where nothing else is happening on it. That sometimes clears out whatever problems are there. When I did, it locked up. It locked smack up. And I couldn't open it. And it's still not open. So I had to go, and I talked to a tech guy. He said there's no way to bypass it unless you can get Microsoft to open it up. Of course, I couldn't find any place for Microsoft where I could call Microsoft, but I'm still looking for that. And then I said, well, I got to have a live stream platform. I can't.
Yeah.
So I had to go out, and I was blessed to have someone to send us $1,000. We were blessed to have that. And I just had to go out and spend most of that to get a new computer. And
you know what? How the $1,000 came about?
What?
I told the person.
No. That's okay. It's okay. I don't need to know. I don't need to know.
Okay.
I don't need to know. But anyway, we got the new computer, and I got on the new computer, and it had in it antivirus software that they said you could get with it for subscription, called McAfee. And I decided I don't want that because I already have my own. Well, a day later, there was an email that came to me that said that the McAfee they had charged me for that. And so I said, well, let me call them and tell them I don't want that. And so when I did, turns out it wasn't really McAfee. It was somebody else. It was some scammers. They got into my computer, and when they did, I had to shut it down.
Yeah.
And I had to take it to a tech guy to wipe it all the way back out to its factory settings. And so now I don't have my programs. I don't have those things that I had that I used before, but it works. And I'm up the creek until I can figure that out. And then I thought, well, I can just go ahead and get a subscription from Microsoft for the what they call the 365. And I did that. And when I did, none of the passwords that I used with Microsoft would work. So I had to cancel the subscription because I couldn't use them. So that's been my story. And then the car key stopped working. And I had to buy a whole new car key to the tune of $300 some.
Yeah. Now listen to this miracle.
Okay. Tell me about the miracle.
I said to somebody, I would love to give my wife $1,000.
Yeah, I know you said that. You told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that when I said that it would actually happen.
Yeah, but I didn't get to use it for me.
But that's okay, darling. Somebody will send some more.
I got to use it for
and
this.
When they send $1,000 in, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
You do look at your baby. You're the baby person. You're the cry.
I wanted to use it for me. But
anyway.
anyway.
I told you what I could do.
Anyway,
Pastor's
doing better.
I ain't doing no good, y'all.
Of course, he's not going to admit
I've been
it.
hurt this morning pretty
He's
bad.
been hurting,
Yeah.
but he's moving more. He's doing more. They released him to drive the car, not the Jeep.
Can't drive much, but I
And-
can drive a little
And
bit.
he can walk, but he can't walk much, but he can walk. And he's doing a little better, getting in and out of bed better. It hurts still,
Mhm.
but he's working through his pain and he's doing well. He's got a good report from his follow-up and all of that. They just told him to take it slow, pace himself.
And he told me there's a whole lot of stuff going on in my back. I mean, a whole lot of stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they went inside. The new doctor went inside and fixed
And
it.
Yvette, yes, Yvette, she said, you all have different sitting arrangements. It's not that we're sitting in the same spot, but whenever we put all this stuff back together so that we could do a live stream, it flipped it.
It did. It did. Put her on this side. I didn't know that. Yvette, I see. I used to be over. Turn this thing around, girl.
It's weird.
She's over to me. She's on the same side, but to y'all, she done switched around.
And when I go
I never would have thought
when I
about
go
that.
into my camera platform, it looks like everything's backwards. The words and everything behind us are backwards. So I had to flip it so that you guys could see it the way you're supposed to see it, but it looks like we're on different sides. Isn't it something?
But you'll always be on
It's
mine.
an illusion. It is an illusion.
Y'all come and get the girl. She done fired up this morning. Illusion.
Anyway, baby girl's here. She's fine. She's got a new toy.
Oh,
she's
yeah, that's
crunching on,
and
and she's even forgotten all about her chicken.
Here she come. She coming over there.
She forgot about her chicken.
She over there?
She got her piece of chicken. She realized that piece of chicken was there. Anyway, thank you guys for hearing.
Thank you. Thank you for
listening
coming.
to my story.
Being patient and working with us.
Let's see who's
It
here.
seems like a rough wind blew through us on this side, but over there, y'all got part of the wind. It looked like we were blown.
We've had lots of things.
We were blowed around in circles.
Lots of things happening, but we're still here. We're still good. And I'm glad to see you guys. That's my sister and my brother-in-law. Sissy came up and helped me a little bit, and she spent some time with me. Sanette, it's so good to see you, sweetheart. So good to see you. She said cold and rainy in Denmark. Well, it's cold and cloudy here. It's supposed to rain a little more this afternoon in the Carolinas. I don't know what's happening everywhere else. It's snow all around us, I think. And there's Vern. Hey, Bernie. How you doing, sweetheart?
Good morning.
And there's Dee Dee and George.
Good morning, George.
Kathy. Thank you, Kathy, for your love gift. I got it. And there's Diaklin. I was thinking about you this week, young lady.
Good to see you.
Yeah. And there's Sandra and
Marcine.
Lee. It's good to have you this morning. Brother Kate.
Marcine is watching. Good.
And this is Chris.
Miss Chris is there with us.
Yeah, she called us last week? Yeah, last week.
I had a lot of calls that come in from Tennessee.
Calls,
they places and people that I had never expected. And they remembered us way back. It seemed like back there. One
pastor called.
We wasn't too long got married.
We used to go down to South Carolina.
Yeah, every weekend.
And he's in Tennessee now and wants him to come to Tennessee. But since he can't come to Tennessee, he said he's coming to you.
Yeah, I called him. He said he want me to call. And he said he's going to bring with it. Before he talk, he's going to bring somebody with him. But he said, I'll come to see you.
And it's strange because last month, there was a young man that reached out to us. And he's in Texas.
Yeah.
And he said that he met us years ago when we were in
when he was a little boy
building, and you prophesied to him, and he's now an adult and he's pastoring.
Yeah. I was speaking words over. He was a little bitty boy, and they was up there and he preached in my church.
He had to minister. He had to speak during our youth service.
That's right.
At that time.
That's right.
Yeah. And we were trying to place him like, who is this? Who is this?
The most
he
amazing
said he was
thing.
only 9 when he was there.
9 years old. That's right. He did.
There's Jill. Hey, Jill. And there's Brother Blue. Thank you for the calls, Brother Blue, and the concerns and the prayers. Sister Phyllis and Edward, I'm glad you're doing well today. And Yvette is here. Pearl's here today. Hey, Pearl. And then there's, thank you guys for just letting me know you're hearing us good. Thank you.
Pearl, we got a call from somebody that called you and wanted to talk to us. I can't think of who that lady was that called, but she said she contacted Mr. Pearl, and Miss Pearl told her how she.
You talking about who you talked to yesterday?
Yeah, I believe it was.
That was Arnett Washington. Yeah. She used to be a member of our church, and she called. She wanted to talk to Pastor. And so, yeah, and Marvita, I'm glad you're here. Baby girl's down here flapping her tail because she wants more chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And Sinette said, seems like we've got extended miracles. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
we do.
it has been, because had all it happened before I got the gift that you were talking about, I would not have had the money. We wouldn't have had the money to get it.
No,
And
and the person that sent that is right here with us this
yeah,
morning.
we love
And I
her
wanna
and her
thank
family
you,
so much.
Lord, I want to thank you for the gift. And of course, now she got to have some more to back it up. So I'm believing
Oh,
God to cover that too.
yeah, I am. Well, what's coming up next is the platform that we're using, StreamYard, to do our live stream. That subscription is coming due, and it's coming due next month. It's about $300. But anyway, we love you guys. Jesus. We're here.
Well, we're here.
And John said the words are flipped around behind us too. Well, let me see. Let me go back and see if I can fix that, because I thought it was the other way around, John. Hold on a second. Let me see, because I thought I fixed that. It looks straight for me, but John just said that the words were flipped around. Okay, they look straight for us on the other side here, but here we're gonna flip them. Let's see. See, now they look crooked to us.
I sat down.
Okay.
I sat down beside a lady coming out of Walmart to get my feet worked on. And when I sit down for you, I looked and you had driven up and waiting for me. And she said, "Sir, I remember in the Bible it said that men that had wisdom or had long beards were men of wisdom, and that they were special chosen by God."
I didn't get a chance to curl your beard today. I was going to curl it for you, and I got too busy on the computer.
You're going to still curl it?
I'll curl it, yes.
Oh, dog, look at that. I get the best curling.
He wants his Christmas beard.
Yeah, Christmas.
Yes.
Now, you know what?
What? Sinette says it looks right now. But see, to us, it's backwards.
Yeah, it is.
It's strange. This is a whole new setup, so...
Well, that's all right.
It's okay as long as you guys see what you're supposed to see.
There you go. Everything good.
We didn't see that. It looks fine on our side, but then I guess, isn't that strange? Yeah, Pearl said you used to say flip the script. Well, we flipped the script this morning, didn't we?
Oh, dog.
Everything looks normal. Well, you guys didn't tell me ahead of time that this was looking funny. And if someone hadn't said anything, we've been sitting here flipped around all day long. But anyway, I want to read something to you, and we're going to get started. You got to know you got something good you want to share with us today. And this has been I would say one hell of a week, but it's been a heaven of a week because we've made it through everything that's taken place, and we're fine. Okay, I'm going to read this. And I don't remember when I wrote it.
You go ahead.
I don't remember when I wrote it. Okay, just don't make noise. Okay. Okay. All right. I wrote it, I guess, over a year ago, because I can't remember exactly when. But it's about how we kind of have evolved to the point that we are now in our understanding and in our awareness. And this is how it came out. In the first phase of our spiritual walk, we as Christians view ourselves as lights in the darkness. We deal with the darkness with aggression, playing a game of ping pong attack, in which we were constantly on guard, trying to eliminate what we believe is the devil to keep it from destroying us. How many of you can bear witness to that? Just type yes if you can bear witness to that. On the border of darkness, one can see on the horizon a different life. We started out in that first phase, but at some point we started to look further in what we were involved with. and trying to work out as making everything work for us, getting rid of the devil and doing spiritual warfare and all of that stuff, we started to see that there's something more. And that's what it means when I said you can see on the horizon a different life. It is at this point that others who are living in the darkness begin to tell you that you're going too far or you're crossing the line. And that's because the entities of any particular realm are there to govern and guard the borders to prevent you from escaping where you are now and to prevent you from moving into a higher dimension. Let me know if that makes sense to you. Type yes if it makes sense to you. Type yes, because that's the first phase, I think, for most of us as Christians. We started there. We saw ourselves as lights in the midst of darkness, and trying hard not to be overtaken. Trying hard not to be. Yes, thank you, guys. Thank you. It makes sense, doesn't it? Now, in the second phase, this is the second phase. Our minds have awakened to truth, or I should say, more light. And then we have, in our awareness, moved from the lower realms of darkness, where we had to fight the enemy or a devil, and we're moving away from those lower realms and now relocating into what I call a gray area. A gray area means it's less darkness, but not all light. Okay? And our perception is heightened because we now become aware or able to see with greater clarity. And we see what's behind the darkness. In other words, you graduate from that believing there's a devil that's constantly attacking you to a gray area where you're now beginning to see behind these situations, behind what we call the devil. And we're beginning to see that there's something much bigger or something greater is happening besides just being attacked by an enemy, an unseen enemy. Does that make sense? Type yes if that makes sense to you. So we're seeing with greater clarity what's behind these negative happenings. Okay? And in the gray area, spirits are not evil or antagonistic. This was a biggie for me. But they are simply a denser kind of energy, which are programmed to do what they do.
Yes.
So now I'm at this phase beginning to understand that what I had labeled as a devil, what I labeled as evil, has now I can see through this illusion, and I can see that they are simply programs running in the background of my mind. Okay. So now we must learn what works and how to deal with the spirits in the gray area without aggression, but as being lords over these programs. Okay? And type yes if that makes sense to you. These spirits or programs are products of the old egoic system. Okay? Products of the old egoic system that are still lingering in the background. Kind of like what my computers were going through. There's just junk running in the background that was keeping the actual system from being able to function. Or it functioned erratically. It wasn't normally functioning. It was broken, but still trying to work, still trying to do, which is where some of us find ourselves, broken because of these programs, but still trying to work our way through them. and some of our data gets blurred, and our belief systems begin to uh, feel different to us. And so we begin to work and think differently. So this is what's happening. These programs, these what we call spirits, evil spirits, or programs, they're products of the old egoic system. And now that we're no longer a part of that system,
Yeah,
they are seen only as illusions.
that's right.
Or you can call them our own miscreations. And I think that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense to you. Type yes in there if it makes sense to you. Our own miscreations. We know now that what we've been fighting as a devil has been our own miscreations.
That's right.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Pearl says this: if all is energy, then it's some energy, but vibrating at a lower energy consciousness. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So this has been the journey of those of us who are now at this place in our lives where we can hear this message. The gray spirits, I'll call them gray spirits, which is nothing more than programs, nothing more than illusions, nothing more than the miscreations that I have done by default, really, not really understanding that I did it, but it was done unconsciously. The gray spirits know that we now see them for what they are. There is no more cloaking device for the mind, which allows it to operate undercover. So that's like in the computer, when you discover that there's a virus there, you discover that there's something running there. And once you discover it, it has less of an effect because it knows you're onto it. Okay? We can see now, but what do we do with these self-created programs? The realization then hits us that everyone is a puppet, but some of us have the ability to see the strings.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good. That's a good.
Mm-hmm. The seeing of the strings is life in the gray area. So that doesn't mean the strings are cut, but you see the strings.
That's right.
You know that you're being puppeted.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say puppeted. You're being manipulated. You're being navigated, and it's not by your own choice.
That's right.
It's by the choice of those programs, of those miscreations. That makes sense, Pastor? These are principalities or regional spirits in high places or greater levels of awareness. There are spirits or energies in greater levels of awareness that protect the borders. These are the lobbyists that persuade us to continue in the present realm and forego any kind of expansion. Okay? Now, this is the other phase. In Christ consciousness, which is what we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Christ consciousness. No aggression is needed.
That's right.
But only to see the opposer as a form of energy that must be redirected by wisdom and not attacked. So now I remember working in these computers. I've been working on it for all week. There are places when you go in and to download something, it'll tell you if the download doesn't start immediately, you are being redirected to another place where it will start.
Okay.
So this is what happens. In the Christ consciousness, no aggression is needed, but only to see the opposer as a form of energy that must be redirected by wisdom and not attacked. We have the choice of labeling the opposer or that we feel or alleged that has opposed us as evil, or as light, which has come to draw out our wisdom to help us to progress forward on our spiritual path. Okay. Seeing the enemy not as a threat, but learning to become masters to redirect them.
Boy, that's good. That is good.
I wanted to read that to you. I wanted to read that to
And
you.
you know what? You'd be surprised what I'm going to talk about.
I would.
It's called the chaotic mind.
That's good.
And that's all.
That's good. Let me read what's the next. I'm going to let you jump in.
Okay, go ahead.
She says, lower or higher consciousness, still consciousness, light dissolves darkness. Going into higher consciousness, you see the light dissolve dark, raising the lower to a higher tune, giving miracles to all. Yeah, yeah. And you know, there is really no such thing as light and dark, because when there's darkness, what do you do to dispel darkness? Nothing but let the light come on.
That's right.
Just let the light shine.
The light, boop,
The
switch.
light automatically, yes.
No,
dispels
it
dispels it, yes.
It's effortless.
Even if it's only a I've got this little battery powered flashlight that I use sometimes when I walk baby girl at night, and I just let it beam down on her so they can see us when we're walking. Even if it's that, it dispels darkness. It doesn't have to be as big as your thumbnail, and it still will dispel darkness.
Mm-hmm.
You will still see it, and it will get rid of the darkness wherever it goes.
We can tell you all of this. It's like I talked to a lady yesterday who called me, who's connected with Miss Pearl, one of our subscribers online. She hadn't been with us, and she remembered how I taught from the beginning about our union with Christ.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But she was still talking like she and God was separated, even though he was agreed in her awareness that he was inside of her.
Mm-hmm. We forget that so easily.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why you forget. Because when you wake up to who you are as the Christ self, more than the chaotic mind, or not being the chaotic mind, hell seems to break loose in a chaotic mind that acts just like a devil or a demon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing but a program
Yes.
that everybody has to receive before they can legitimately be chosen as a citizen of the United States, of different countries and different places, different things, to be inaugurated into that citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do know is this, that there's not a man on the face of the earth that did not meet Jesus Christ before coming to this body. The great scam is that we've been teaching that we were shaped in sin in our mother's womb from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Jeremiah 1:5 said to him that before you were formed in the belly,
I knew you. And that word know means intimately. Known. Yes.
So if he knew us before we were formed in the belly, we had to exist before the belly. We had to exist before we came in this body, downsized as babies.
And you know, when he says before you were formed, I formed you in the belly, I knew you, it also means I experienced you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, you were actually coexistent from the nature of God on a female process, seemingly like only women give birth to children. That's true.
Well, you're talking about the female side.
The female
God,
side and the female and the male side of God.
Yes.
Each one of us from the beginning were eternal spirits that come from God. Now listen to this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The spirit of life is the life that God is in everything in the universe. What happened to me? Let me go back a little bit. Let me drink this. There's a lot of preachers online right now on television that are fussing at different members of the church.
Fighting each other
because some of them are preaching about the old text and what they said Jesus was never crucified and he was just a man. I've had that come from uh, Muhammad and the other religions where people tell me that Jesus Christ was just a man.
Some even say Jesus never lived,
He was
never existed.
never
Some of them
existed.
say that.
Let me tell you one thing about your Jehovah Momo. Jesus, when I saw him in heaven, did not have any problem with any of these sectal groups of men because I saw every last one of these men who, after they came, or before they came and after they went back to the pure love that they were created with.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of these Mohammed belief guys sat around the table. I walked in on a lady at the foot massage, what you call that?
Pedicure.
Pedicure.
You got a pedicure yesterday.
I didn't know that two things was going to happen. I was directed to go there by a inward knowing desire and physical impairment. When I got there, there was a young lady there who was the great grandchild of a lady whose last name was Gentry. And she and I, when I was in my 20s, we used to preach together and preach at different places and went to different places that she went to. Here I am, 77, and getting ready for 78. And I run across a lady. I was taken down to the foot place. My wife took me and she left me there. And I was going in the place, and this lady had all of her hair shaved off. I couldn't tell whether she was a man or a lady. So I said, "Thank you, sir." She said, "No, that's okay." She said, I'm a female." I said, "Well, baby, I'm sorry. I couldn't say anything else." But before I left from that foot place, I found out that the little girl that was sitting on my right side was connected to this lady named Miss Gentry. Mm-hmm. And when I was growing up, I was moved from the front of one street to the side where her mother had at least 10 to 12 babies.
She had a lot of children.
Yeah. Right there. Mm-hmm. And from there I met the Reeboks and the Gentrys and all of them right there together, and was nobody preaching, but her mother was faithful in taking care of every last one of those 10 or 12 babies. Mm-hmm. When I told this lady who I was, and I said, "Are you a Gentry?" She said, "Yes." I had the whole audience in the salon.
I don't doubt that.
Because I told her that I had met Jesus on the other side. And this is my thing that got me into the ministry. Please hear me. Please hear me.
And I need to say this, that no matter what we've heard, read, or what others say they have discovered, our allegiance will always be to Christ, to Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Because he is that led us into this opening. It was nothing else that led us into this opening.
I realized that all the way from the first grade all the way through, I wanted to quit school and stay home. My daddy wouldn't let me, my uncle wouldn't let me, and my mama wouldn't let me. But all of my other brothers, 2 brothers and sisters, they stayed out because it was agreed that these half brothers and sisters was not under the same control that I was. I even played hooky and hid upstairs in closet after my mama moved out. I stayed in the place where I was born, gave birth to upstairs. When a big tall man was standing there when I was in my mother's womb, and they debated over what they were going to name me. Mm. I had a chance to go to this man after and before he died. The man, I asked him, I said, "Who is Cliff?" He said, "It's me." Mm-hmm. He said, "Nobody knew what name to give you, but my name was Cliff, and so I told him to give him your name, mm-hmm. his name." Yeah. And so when I came out, they called me Cliff. And I met this man 2 or 3 times, but I didn't know he was the one that gave me my name.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wanted to date my mama, and he was hiding behind the door because he didn't know which one of the guys would come in. And she said, name him Cliff. Now I'm saying all this to you for this reason. I carried a Bible to school with me in my pocket. I was graced by God to go through the first all the way to the 12th grade. I was retained one time and went all the way through. Nobody else in my family has done anything that I've done. And it's the same with some of y'all out there. I was the only preacher. I was the only one that went to the 12th grade. But here's the mystery. I went to 12th grade and I could not read. Drastically humiliated in school. Because of who I was, I didn't know that the teachers would deliberately call on me to read something like everybody had to read
Because they knew you couldn't.
I couldn't do it.
Because they knew you couldn't.
They knew it.
And they would call on you deliberately. Yeah.
So I stood up one day in school in the 7th and 8th grade, and I pulled my Bible out. And when I went into the class, instead of reading the books that I pulled my Bible out and put it on the table and was reading it. I thought maybe that if I read the Bible, God would protect me from being called on in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't work right there. They called on me, and the lady named Miss Hildred, who was the teacher, she humiliated and got me and told me, we all believe, and you need to take that Bible and put it back in your pocket. This is not the place for it. I mean, I was an open scene in front of everybody. And I didn't know that at the time that there was a lady upstairs in the school that talked to them and was claiming me as to be her adopted son.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as they knew that I was connected to her, she paid for my book fees and everything. Here's what God did and fixed it. So every time my name would come up, they would know I was connected to this lady upstairs. Mm-hmm. They pushed me, teacher, all the way through school. Mm-hmm. And she was a read improvement teacher, but she never taught me how to read.
So your reason for bringing all of that up?
So what now?
Your reason for bringing all of that up?
I'm bringing it up to you to show you. There's never been a time when God, and you always say, if it wasn't for the Lord, I'm telling you that it was God, and it is God, that have always been in you as the eternal self.
Yeah.
If you had died then physically, you would have left your body and would have went back to God as the birthing place of your true identity. The chaotic mind was designed when you came here. You get something?
Yeah. Hold on to the chaotic mind. Because I don't know why I pulled this last night. But look, I typed this up. I don't know when, but this is, I labeled what the mind consists of. And listen to this. Listen to this. The mind is a non-stop talking machine.
Tell me about it.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is what's in it. Endless thoughts, ideas, concepts, meanings, memories, plans, apprehensions, doubts,
yes,
repetitions,
yes,
nonsense, fragments of music,
yes,
past events,
yes,
stories,
yes,
opinions,
come on,
speculations,
come on, girl,
images of objects, people, past and present, imaginations, fantasies, daydreams, fragments of news, media events, scenes from movies, television shows, internet information, financial and business.
That's the whole line list of stuff now.
Bills to be paid,
that's it.
Family,
that's what
culture, politics,
that's what it thinks
about. Feelings and moods, prejudices,
and they believe that it's all of these
blind spots, denials, projections, paranoias, phobias, regrets, guilt, anxiety, fear of poverty, fear of being too wealthy, fear of being ugly, old age, sickness,
come on, girl,
death, failure, rejection, losses, disasters, programs from religion and society, slogans,
Uh-huh.
dogmas, distortions of facts, lies,
The whole
errors,
appetite is described right there.
misjudgments,
That's right.
misinformation,
That's right.
remorse,
That's right.
intrauterine influences. That's before you even come out the belly.
Ooh.
Postnatal fates, all that's in there. Neurohormones in there. Accidental programmings, layers of motives and intentions, background voices, and I could go on and on and on.
The list is endless.
That's what's in this nonstop talking machine.
Okay. Now watch this. The chaotic mind and the pure self exist and are gathered inside the physical body as along with the eternal Christ self. This eternal self is the Christ child that exists in the toxic, altered state of the mind's character.
Oh my God.
And it lives in the same and exists in the same place.
Oh my God.
But the Christ mind, the key is the eternal self is not disturbed by the monkey mind inside of us.
Yes.
The reason why is because Jesus made a statement here. He said this, therefore doeth my Father love me, because I laid down my life. I'm going to give you the translation of this, that I might take it again, and no man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to take it up again, and this commandment have I received of my Father. Now listen to this. I want you to listen to what I'm going to tell you. The Bible tells us, if you're going to use the Bible, they're fussing about some men say that we are God, and Jesus said himself, is it not said in Scripture that we are gods?
You are gods, yes.
And let me tell you something. In your originality, your original God identity, you existed before you were formed in the belly. You were known of God. And to be known of God, you had to be from God to know him. Yes. And he know you.
Yes. You're derivative of God.
Yeah. Now, I didn't know anything about what we're talking about when I started out. Neither one of us. All I know that this girl asked me 2 times to go to church, and I wouldn't go to church with her because I was drinking.
And that's why I asked you to go to church.
Yeah, I didn't.
Because you were drinking so much.
I was drinking so much. For 2.5 years, I drunk till the stuff just run out of me. I mean, just like water.
So I thought that would help you. That would fix you.
Oh, I come back out and got her drunk. We got drunk.
We were both drinking, but you drank more than me.
I did. I carried whiskey and liquor around in the dashboard of my car with a 22 pistol.
And I need to say this. It's not the drinking that was a problem.
Yeah.
It's what it did to us
when we drank. It was in the chaotic self. Now, here it is. I go home. She asked me the first time. I said no. I go home the second time. She asked me. Now, she had no idea what was going to happen to me. Lord have mercy, Jesus. When I got home that night, one of the first things I did every night, I don't know why, just all of a sudden had that inspiration to do this. I would say the Lord's Prayer. I tried to get in a little bitty closet that was in my house. It wasn't big enough to hardly put a coat in.
You were being wooed.
I was being wooed, yeah.
And I think that the gravitational pull toward this expanded awareness has increased. And it increases when a person's ready to wake up.
That's been almost 30 years ago. I went in, I came out, and I got on my knees, and it was cold as a popsicle. And
as my dad would say, cold as a well digger's butt.
Or he said cold as a witch's patootie.
Yeah. a witch's TT.
Ooh, what you talking about? And I said, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, the will be done on earth as in heaven. He said, and somewhere down and I forgot the rest of the words. And then I got in the bed. When I got in the bed, it was freezing cold. The door was shut. And all of a sudden, I woke up. But when I woke up, I didn't know that I was having an experience with Jesus because I was standing outside of my body.
So not only did the body wake up, your consciousness
woke up.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got up the next morning, I looked around over top of me and I saw a man. He didn't have a beard as long as mine because he was real neat.
Mm-hmm.
But he, from the waist up,
like
he
a
was
like a bust.
and the bust. He was looking down at me, and I turned my attention around and looked at him. Now, I understand this. I could not read. I've been going to church, all just with her and with the Reverend, just to please her, because I feel like this. If you dating somebody,
because you loved it, me.
I do. I did, and always will.
You loved it. So you went
I found out how to use the Christ love to love you and everybody.
But that's why you went to church.
That's why I went to church. If you love your girl and she's in church, or if you in church and you go with a girl and if
you really love her, you'll go.
That's right.
You'll go just to please her, even if you don't believe in it.
Because you might be scared some Negro or a black girl was going to try to get some of your sugar.
Now go out. I'm taking you up in your thought, but go ahead.
I'll leave that alone right now. But anyway.
Oh my gosh.
That morning, I was standing in the mirror, putting on a hook-on tie, wearing old Botany 500, what do you call it?
Suit, yeah.
Suit.
Had a vest.
Blue pinstripes, had a vest with it. And it was the only expensive suit that I owned, one suit, pair of high-priced shoes. During that time, I had all my hair and it was black. I was sharp.
Your body had all this.
And I was recovering from a hangover. But at the same time, we had stopped drinking a long time.
Yeah, because we were being wooed.
That's right.
Yes, we were being wooed.
When I got up that morning, Jesus was looking at me. Now, I recognize him. I never read about him that much, but I heard people talk about him. Jesus did not put a book in front of me to tell me that he was who he was. Every one of us, when we see him, whether we accept him as Lord and Savior, and this is from my near-death experiences and my near-death experiences with other people in interviews. He took his hand and opened his chest up, and y'all heard me say this for years back.
This story. Yeah.
And it was burning with the red, yellow, orange, gold, and blue fire. So I went to a doctor's office. In passing, I saw this book, this picture of Jesus on the wall there with his heart there. And I asked him, I said, where did you get that picture? I want that picture. He never did give it to me, but I found it. I found where it was.
It's the Sacred Heart of Jesus, yes.
Yeah.
Sacred Heart.
So when I did, the fire that burned in his heart was burning inside of me. So I looked.
And it still does.
It does.
It still is
the fire.
Yes. And that's the thing. Once it's lit, it never goes out.
Oh,
so everything that God does for us, it's not a once and for all. It's a perpetual.
This is all that I preached when I was in church.
Yes.
I was scared to get in front of people. I was scared to talk in front of audience.
That Clifton was afraid.
That's the chaotic self.
But that Clifton I'll say it like this. It wasn't done away with, but it's like another Clifton emerged, and that Clifton receded.
That Clifton was called to court and to sit on the stand and testify what had happened. But that Clifton did not understand that the reason why this happened was that God, my true identity, was moving Clifton out.
Yes, it's like I said.
Glory be to God.
Christ Clifton emerged, and that broken Clifton receded.
I've never seen a heart that bled so much with fire and 5 colors. I never seen a man that had so much pain.
In other words, that Clifton could not read because of all of these things that are in that
that
non-stop
list.
talking machine.
That's right.
It blocked you
Yes.
from being able to read.
I thought,
And so what has happened is the I'll call it the new Clifton moved out of this non-stop talking machine.
but the remnants of the memories of him was still there. With Jesus in me as me.
There you go.
But I found out who I really was. I was neither one of those Cliftons.
So we're walking around like a computer
that's right,
that still has the virus in it. The virus is there, but it's contained.
You learn.
It's contained.
It's contained.
But every now and then you'll realize it's still there. Now, I wanted to mention just what Jill said.
Yeah, that's what she said.
We are learning to not be disturbed by ourselves or others' programming and be like Christ and be Christ. And be Christ. Yes.
50 inclusive 77 years to talk to you online about this.
Yeah, to be able to.
I can talk about this and preach it anywhere and touch anything in the Bible. Yes. You may know, I thought maybe one time if I read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation nonstop, I would have more God. No, I didn't. I heard Oral Roberts talk about how he went through the Bible and read all the scriptures all the way through it to the end. That didn't work for me. So, but I had to preach.
Yes. I want to ask a few questions. Based on what we've just talked about, is your life, your personal life, is it on course with God? Or is it off course with God? Type it in. Mm-hmm. Is it on course or off course? You tell me. Mm-hmm. You tell me. And this is another question. Mm-hmm. You can type it in. Is there really a devil that has attacked you?
Uh-oh. There you go. Uh-oh.
Is there really something evil out to get you? Type it in.
Uh-huh. Let me tell you about this.
Thank you, Keely. She said on course. Sandra says she's on course.
I had a chance. My wife and I was.
I want to see your response. So just keep typing it in.
I had a chance to see the author and the finisher of the chaotic mind, which we call the prince of the power of the air. He materialized himself in front of me and my wife upstairs.
Thank you, Diaco. She said on course and no devil. Yes.
Okay.
On course and no devil.
And the devil is and always have been the chaotic mind.
The chaotic mind. And what I read to you earlier, the programs that were miscreations of our own.
If we were not what I'm saying we are and always have been, why is it that when the body die, and my experiences is, if you're in it, God is in as the life of it. Yes. When the life of it leave, you leave with the Spirit of God, your identity. You leave and you find out, my assistant pastor finally, he crossed over not long ago, and he was preaching about different things and he couldn't get it cleared up. And I was telling him all the time who he was. Mm-hmm. He finally left. He felt the pull of his wife. His second wife and him did not get along well because he was not
sanctioned. He hadn't let go of his first wife.
He had not made things right, so he crossed over early.
Which was grace.
Grace.
Grace helped him to do that.
He went.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to say this, Pastor.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I want you guys to type this in. The world is not what we see.
No, it's not.
But it is the way we see. The world is not what we see. It is the way we see.
That's right.
And Gary says,
you can reboot it.
can you reboot and get rid of the list? You can't get rid of the list because it's going to always be there. The data remains in the subconscious.
Yeah.
But you will know it's a contained virus. It's a contained virus. And yes, you are being rebooted. That's what's happening right now. You are being rebooted.
What's that thing they find when an airplane have a crash, a train have a crash? What is that?
The
book?
black box?
The black box.
It's going to always be there in the
black box is there. And by choice, you choose to open it up. But let me tell you what it did. In that chaotic state, it has always revealed itself as being Lucifer or Satan inside of everybody that you see, because the chaotic mind and everybody come here is programmed with that. Your true identity has never left itself. But your true identity inside of you will eventually, in consciousness, make yourself stronger and stronger aware of your true identity. Now, in true identity, it'll seem like there's no devil.
Yeah.
But the programming of that is in every one of us.
And I remember in my first part of the reading, some of you might have missed it because you may not have been here when I read it. But in the first part of my reading, I talked about being in a gray area. And this is where a lot of us are in our awareness, in a gray area, where we're seeing light, but we're also seeing the darkness. Yes. And we're not sure how to deal with the darkness and how to deal with these negativities. We think we're fighting an enemy when in actuality, all we are dealing with are the programs that we miscreated because of coming into this earth existence is a threatening existence. And so therefore we built a lot of defense mechanisms. We made a lot of covenants. These are our own miscreations. And so when we now come into this place where we're beginning to see that through some of these issues and some of these things that have happened, we're realizing it's not a separate enemy there that's attacking us. It's from within. Program. It's from within. The enemy is within. And that enemy is now being contained as we're being rebooted, as Gary said. So the gray area is where you begin to, in that Christ consciousness, you begin to have no aggression. And I'll read it again. No aggression is needed, but only to see the opposer as a form of energy that must be redirected by the wisdom, not attacked.
When Jesus walked into the temple and he opened the book of Isaiah, he did not go there to cause the chaotic mind as a demonic force, the way it's written in the scriptures, to react.
Yes.
But he was so locked into the oneness of the Father, awareness, consciousness, that a great disturbance disturbed anything in the room that was not tied in with the Father. This man spoke out, and the book said it was the spirit that spoke out.
Yeah.
But what spoke out was his chaotic self.
Yes. Sometimes, and I think I read this sometime back, that what happens in our psyche, the pain and the suffering is given a voice.
Yes.
And when it's given a voice, it sounds like a demon.
That's right. We've heard it.
We've heard it. It sounds like a demon because it's the pain and the suffering all concentrated into one big ball, and comes out in rage. It comes out in all kinds of expressions. And so it is the pain and the suffering that is coming out. And we labeled it as a demon. We labeled it as demons.
What is disturbed by the chaotic mind is the chaotic mind itself.
Yes.
This chaotic mind is constantly talking to itself like it's you
Oh my
talking
God.
to yourself.
Oh my God. Oh God.
And when I found out how to talk to my Christ self in the mirror, the chaotic mind is there listening to everything.
Now you do that's your practice, and I've got a practice, and I tell you what my practice is. I can say at any time, at any given day, and this will change how I feel, how I think, how I see, and all I say is, "I love you, Lord." And when I say that, everything in me goes limp, and I begin to feel okay. It's simply, I love you, Lord. Knowing where the Lord is and who the Lord is, it's like loving myself, finally loving myself. Knowing who it is that's loving, because there's no other love but the love of God. Finally loving myself.
You'd be surprised at how many Christians and even union oneness people see God as all around them, which is true, and they talk outside. Let me tell you what true worship really is. When you are aware of the consciousness of your eternal self so strong,
yes,
that you learn how to see him. First thing you're going to see him, and this is chaotic what I'm saying. First thing you're going to see is him being in everybody you meet.
Lovable and unlovable.
Lovable, saved or not saved, drunks,
yes,
crooks.
Yes.
And they don't know it.
And if for whatever reason that unlovable being is in your experience,
they don't know it.
There is a reason that unlovable being is in your experience, and it's for you to wake up.
I feel this.
It's for you to wake up, darling.
That don't mean that you don't still have reactions to the road rage.
Haven't we been through reactions since you had this surgery?
Say what now?
We've had all kinds of reactions.
Having it now while I talk to you, my ears hearing and
no, I'm talking about between the two of us. We've had it has been, you talking about chaotic mind. It has been chaotic mind. Now we got some good comments. Let me say this.
Good comments. Y'all talking.
Sissy said, that's my baby sis. She says redirection can also happen in our attention and our conversations. Yes. That has helped me more than anything, just to have a conversation with somebody who is not caught up in the chaotic mind.
Yeah.
That automatically redirects you, doesn't it?
That's right.
It does. And Lori says, she's saying, I love you, Lord. Yes. And when I say that, Lori, everything in me just melts. It just melts. And all of a sudden, I feel loved. I feel okay. I feel like everything's going to be all right, no matter what's happening. I love you, Lord. And that's my ritual. And your ritual is to talk to yourself in the mirror. And then Jill said this. I remember Muji saying that ego is not a friend. Not yet. Not yet. I believe there is a level of consciousness where one can see that ego is a servant. Amen. That's what we're saying, baby. That's exactly what we're saying. That's what we're saying. Finally loving yourself. Yes, Keely. Finally loving yourself and not comparing yourself to everybody else, not constantly trying to change yourself. I use myself as an example all the time, especially with the thing that's going on with my skin. I said this to Pastor Norman. I think I said it on Tuesday night. I was at the restaurant last week getting a sandwich for Pastor, and the young lady who checks us out, she's always really sweet and friendly to us, and she likes to play with us and stuff. She looked at me, she said, "You got a bruise on your face." I said, "No, it's not a bruise. This is the color, my color, trying to come back." And she said, "Well, you're just still beautiful. You're still so beautiful." And I realized when she said it, I don't need to hear that.
No.
I don't need to hear it. No, don't try to.
No, I'm just listening to you. Go ahead.
I really don't need to hear it.
No, I understand.
Not so much that I don't want to hear it.
No.
I don't need it.
I understand.
Because I realize a spot does not make me ugly. A spot makes me different.
That's good. That's good.
It makes me different. And so I'm not trying to be beautiful or ugly.
Now here it is.
What?
You are like this because you called those people to you. You
Yeah.
attracted those people
Yeah.
to you because of the Christ consciousness. But they need it. You
They
didn't need
need
it.
it.
They need
They
it.
need it. Yes.
Not you.
I don't need it.
They need it. But
I
what
don't
it-
need I don't need it for validation.
No,
That's what I'm
you
saying.
don't.
That's
You
what I'm
don't.
saying.
It's
I
understood.
don't need it for validation.
No,
I really
no.
don't. I
Your
really don't.
real self knows that.
Yeah.
But it also knows that, you know what?
And I've
Baby, listen to
accepted,
this.
also, I've accepted this 76-year-old body.
Yeah.
I've accepted
Yeah.
this.
They don't know that when they look at you and talk to you, that the Christ in you attracted them to himself in your
Yeah.
form
Yeah.
to speak to him, and they have no idea of who you know that's in them, that's looking through them at itself in you.
Yeah. I understand
And
that.
you develop an audience. And you know what makes it so great about you is that the love that you are and have and have always been and will always be nothing else but that
Yeah.
responded to her in such a graceful
And
way.
you know what? And I want to, I'm only saying it for this reason. A lot of people feel like they've got to say it so that I'll feel better.
Yes, I understand.
But I don't have to feel better. I don't need to feel better because I don't feel bad.
No.
And so I want them to be free from having to make me feel better.
Yeah. But see, I had to learn that with you too. I had to learn learn how to talk to you. And here's what I hear coming from you. When I look at your picture and us together upstairs when we first got married, I remember the sound of your voice the first day I met you and I saw you, even from a little girl. I saw you. Do you know that sound of your voice when you talk to me inside of me has not changed?
Okay.
I don't care that you're 70 or you're 129. You'll always be.
I don't think I'll make it to 129.
Don't talk like that because you get me crying.
we were talking.
Crying.
We were talking
Please
yesterday.
don't
We were in
talk
the
like
car.
that.
We were in the car talking, and we were saying, "How long will before we'll be 100?" I said,
Oh Lord,
said,
don't. Oh Lord.
30 more years. Yeah, I don't think we'll be here 30 more Christmases, but that, anyway, I don't want to get off on that.
But my point is that when I hear the voice that I hear of God out of you is the Antoinette voice that I remember coming to the door
because it
every
hasn't
weekend,
aged.
and you would open the door for me, and when I come in, I had to be nice. So let me tell you, this has got to be said.
I'm listening. Okay, I'm listening.
Okay. That voice that I hear when you was talking to your mama, that voice that I hear when I'm there on the weekend, we getting ready to go to a movie. We went somewhere. If it wasn't but a liquor house, we went.
That's where you
But
like
you
to go.
you were always up. You was a very, when you walk in the door of certain places, you were very popular.
Yeah. That's
And somebody asked me,
I want to say that's enough because if you keep saying it, my ego likes to hear it. And
I know that.
I don't want to.
I'm just referencing that nothing has changed in you.
I understand. I got it.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. I don't want to feed my ego.
I understand.
You understand that?
Yeah, I do.
You understand that? I really don't want to feed my ego. So the thing is, we label things that happen to us as bad, evil, whatever. So I'm not going to fight what's taking place in this 76-year-old body. I'm going to accept what's happening to this 76-year-old body. And I'm going to let it do what it does best. And I often say to my body, thank you for serving me because you served me well. It served me well. Even in spite of the times that I abused you, you still served me well.
When I look at the Christ self, looking at itself in the mirror, I say, you are. Hey, I said, well, hello. I see you. I see you. And I might say, it's true that you are truth in me.
Now, Pastor, we've been on here for 14
I know, but we're just so
Wow.
excited about finding it out that we have awakened gradually to what we teaching. don't need a Bible, but we got notes where we talk
We
about.
do. We do.
We want to thank all of you guys
Mhm.
for supporting us.
Yes.
That's one word I've been wanting to say for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm fighting hard to talk to you because the medication and all that has been lightly given, but I'm still able to talk to you about.
You're doing good.
I hope so
You
because I
really
don't
are.
feel like it's been good, but I
I
can't
know.
go
You're
by
probably
that.
ready for a nap.
I'm ready for that.
Ready for
I get tired.
lunch and a nap.
Walking up and down the stairs with a cane or getting to a walker,
Hmm.
coming up the stairs and feeling like I'm almost about to fall backwards, and then walking around the house and stumbling. I guess I done beat up every piece of furniture in the house trying to walk with this
You
walker.
done beat up every door frame.
And I don't feel, as far as eating, she's taking care of me. And I don't love my wife because she take care of me. I love her because I am her.
Listen, you just brought up something else. Miles Monroe
Yeah.
said something that I've been saying all the time. A lot of times people say, "Well, why do you love your husband? Why do you love this person?" If you've got a because, if you've got a reason that you love that person, it's not real love.
I just want to be
Because
with you.
love has no reason. It
No.
just is. It just
I just want to be
loves.
with you.
Yeah, yeah. And well, that's what love does. Love wants to be with you
And sometimes we don't want to be around each other.
because we get lost in the chaotic mind.
Thank you. Ooh. Now you gonna mess around and get some sugar here.
Mhm.
Oh, that's like trying
It's only the chaotic mind that keeps people separated.
the kill the chaotic mind is when you date, when you kiss somebody and their breath stinks.
Oh God.
That's the chaotic breath.
You can tell that before you kiss them.
You smell it.
You can tell.
That tell you
Before
when you get ready to
kiss
kiss, they
them.
do like this.
No, you don't even get close to it.
Yeah, you don't even want to get close to it.
Oh my goodness.
And I remember how I used to stink when I was drinking.
Yeah, you did.
It stunk.
But I stank.
I remember
but
cigarettes.
I stank when I smoked. Yes.
I smelled the cigarettes on you.
Yeah.
I didn't like
But you know
that.
it didn't matter because love don't care.
No.
Love will fight through a whole
All I
lot
wanted
of
to
things.
find out was
It'll cover a whole multitude.
you ain't lying about that. All I want to know, did you know how to kiss? Everybody don't know how to kiss. I'm telling you that. But this girl broke me in kissing real sweet.
I broke you in kissing.
Yes, she taught me so much. I've learned so much from her.
Y'all, I tell you, y'all see into our lives. I tell you, you see.
Who said that?
I said that. They see into our lives. Oh my God! Listen, we've got to get out of here, and we love you so much.
I'd love to have a renewing a marriage vow. Somebody do a marriage vow.
Oh, we might do that. We might do that.
I'd like to have that.
But I gotta. In the meantime, we gotta get lunch. I
Don't worry
gotta
about
make
that.
you a cup of hot chocolate.
You told me upstairs that one meal and missing ain't gonna hurt nothing.
That's right. You want one meal. If you miss a meal, it's not gonna kill you.
But what is so amazing about you is the marvel experiencing.
And why are you talking about me?
Because this marvel experience that I've had with you is the same marvel experience that each one of you should have with your divine eternal self. You are the Christ
Pastor
love.
Norman said he'll do the vows. He'll do the vows. Hey, Pastor Norman.
Oh, get out of here, boy.
Oh my gosh.
She had on a long dress, pretty white dress.
I did. But we're not going to talk about me right now, okay? Let's don't talk about me right now. Okay? Not that me.
I'm still talking about the Christ self.
I know what you're doing. What did I hear?
It sounds loud inside my ears because I can't hear.
I'm going to get me a chicken pot pie.
Hey.
Somewhere.
Ooh, that's 3 times you said that.
I want a chicken pot pie.
Yeah. I'm going to let her go. I'm going to let you go too.
Thank you for giving again.
In fullness.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving. Thank you, guys. Thank you that the Lord is moving on somebody to pay for this StreamYard subscription. Yes. $250 in January. So I know God is moving on somebody to do that. And we thank you.
How much is it?
It's $250.
I hear you.
But while I'm asking, the computer was $700.
And when I said how much, when I said how much,
while I'm asking, the computer was 750.
Yeah.
But anyway,
While I'm asking you, how much is it? Because I can hear and feel the
and
Christ
God is
in me
answering that prayer.
and you listening from
Yes.
in. One of
Yes.
the most amazing things about waking up to your true identity is that when the ears are turned in to hear
Mm,
God
mm,
through
mm,
stillness
mhm,
inside of us,
mhm,
listening at other people that we meet,
mhm.
I disturb places where I go. When I
Yeah.
start telling them what we're talking about in our classes, somehow or another, before I tell them, somebody will say something. They'll, do you know anything about this or that? I say, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thank you for
You
your
do.
time,
You
all of
don't.
you.
You don't really disturb, but you change the atmosphere wherever you go.
And that's
Yes, Keely, Katniss has the chicken pot pie, and I'm going to get it. Yes, yes,
what
yes.
she talking about
And
now, Keely.
I'm gonna bring it
Well,
back home.
she talking about going to Cagnes today and get one. Well, when you gonna get yours?
She's telling me Katniss has great chicken pot pie.
Yeah, but I thought because she gonna get one too.
She didn't say that.
No, she did.
No,
But you
she
said a
didn't say
great
that.
pie. You know, it's always good to have a
Thank
great.
you, Jeanette.
John Greensboro,
Listen,
it's always good to have a straight pie, like a good pie, especially a chicken pie. Chicken, chicken and dumplings be good, wouldn't it? Egg custard. Oh, that's what I want. An egg custard pie from the restaurant. That's what I've been wanting for a long time. Miss Keith, I want an egg custard pie from down there at what's the name?
it's CNH cafeteria.
CNH cafeteria. I mean,
You gonna look? Are you gonna wheel yourself in there? Because I'll drive you there. Are you gonna wheel yourself in there and stand in line?
But how I'm gonna bring? No, you don't stand in line. Go to the front, right to where they.
It's people stand there to get their orders, darling.
But I would be able to hold it and walk with the walker.
So you mean for me to go down there?
I'll go in there with you.
Stand in line.
I'll go in there
to
with
get you an egg custard
I'll go in
that
there.
you really, really don't need. Look, let me tell you what happened. This week past, I don't know what it is. All of our neighbors start bringing us stuff.
Yeah.
Miss Pat next door brought us these little, look like donut holes.
Yeah.
With powdered sugar on them.
Yeah.
And my other neighbor across the street brought us a rum cake. I tasted it last night. Oh,
was it good?
It is
So you messed up,
good.
She got drunk.
I ate two pieces.
No wonder she.
And afterwards, I felt so guilty.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God! I made myself a promise. I won't eat anything sweet tomorrow. Because I ate those two pieces and they was so good. I was going,
Renee, your sister got to be an alcoholic in 2 days.
And I don't even like rum cake. This cake was
honey
so
whiskey pie.
Good. It was perfect. I thought, oh my God.
Your sister's nasty.
Why are people bringing that sweet stuff? Knowing that, they bring one of our neighbors brought him a whole bag of Hershey's Kisses with almonds in it. I said, y'all killing us with kindness.
You know, that's the truth. That's true. But you know what?
That's the last thing we need, but they were so good. It was so good.
Everything.
I'm going to quit here because I'm going to get me a chicken pot pie.
Everything's going to be all right. Be all right when I make it. Christ real inside of me. It's going to be all right. They don't change it because they just go churchy when you get too far into it.
You went churchy.
But I thought I'd make it to the sea.
There's another song called Be All Right. It's not churchy at all.
How'd it go?
I can't remember it.
See, you got to sing it to me, baby.
I don't remember it. I remember that part. But
maybe you used to sing to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You used to sing them songs to me.
Yeah.
It felt so good.
All right.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I'm going to get me a chicken pot pie. I love you guys. We'll be back on Tuesday. Don't forget to give. Now, remember, when you give to Cornerstone, we always give to a charitable organization from your tithes and offerings. And so other people can be helped, especially this time of year. And I realize crisis control doesn't reach everybody, but we can do our part and help somebody else. Because not everybody has the funds this time of year to buy gifts and all. Some people need help. They need help. And your money given to Cornerstone helps them.
Pulls us through.
And I know you give
It
You
pulls us
probably give
through.
on your own personally, but this is another way to do it. And when you give to a giver, it keeps the flow going.
That's
And I've
right.
said that over
That's
and over.
right.
It keeps the flow going. It's an outflow that keeps going. And so it keeps going and comes back to you. This is go
And we want
outflow,
to thank you.
inflow, outflow, inflow.
It is
We
real.
thank you so much.
What you guys have done to help us keep going in our house and things and the
to
online.
keep this ministry going.
That's right.
To keep this
That's
ministry
right.
going. Yes.
Please
Because
keep
it's
in
hard,
mind.
it's hard to minister when you're thinking survival.
That's right.
So to keep this ministry going, thank you for
But
your
you
cash
guys
apps.
move us into a different mode of belief and receiving the gifts of God in love.
And we gotta let you go this time.
Okay?
For real. We love you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.